This will be a super busy week, Monday through Friday, working long hours every day. And I actually worked this weekend also, so I didn't have time to meal prep. So we're going to be eating some leftovers this week and just kind of winging it. And I thought it might be fun to share how I eat when it's super hectic and busy. And we're going to keep it real simple and still keep it healthy and mostly whole foods, plant-based. And we're going to do our best this week. So it is actually Sunday night, and I'm going to just prep some chia pudding for the next few mornings for breakfast. And what I'm starting with is 1 can of full-fat coconut milk and 2 scoops of vanilla protein powder. And to that, I'm just going to add 4 tablespoons of chia seeds. I need to refill my little jar here. And this makes a really rich and creamy chia seed pudding. If you have tried chia pudding before and didn't really care for it, you might try this method. You could also blend this up. I don't mind the texture of it not being blended, but you could certainly blend this up in your NutriBullet or just a hand mix blender. My coconut milk was out in the pantry and it's cold. I thought I gave it enough more time to warm up, but it'll be okay. We'll get it mixed in there eventually. And this is just the basic recipe that I like to have, and I'll divide this into 3 separate servings. And in the morning, I'll see what kind of fruit I am in the mood for, whether I want to flavor it with some bananas or some frozen blueberries, but I'll make that decision like in the morning. This will just be a really quick grab and go breakfast for my busy week. And I work out in the mornings, I run, so I like to have something that has a good amount of protein in there right after I work out. So this is perfect. And like I said, this will be nice and rich and creamy. Now, if you don't like coconut milk, you could certainly just go with your favorite vegan yogurt, or I do have a recipe to make some vegan yogurt. And all that is coconut milk with some probiotic capsules. But you could also use almond milk or oat milk to get the same kind of texture. It won't be quite as thick as the coconut milk, but still delicious. So that went pretty good. And in the morning, after it has chilled in the refrigerator and the chia seeds have absorbed some of that liquid, it will be so nice and rich, thick and creamy. And I will be all set for breakfast. And I have these fun little glass cups with lids that I think are perfect for this. And I'm just going to try to evenly distribute it. And I'm set for the morning. Good Monday morning. It's pretty early and I've already had my coffee. I'm getting ready to go for a run. So real quick before I go for a run, I'm just going to put together like a pre-workout drink. I'm just having some BCAA powder, which is exactly what it says and nothing more. It's just branched chain amino acids. And I usually run fasted. I can't handle a lot of stuff on my stomach before I run in the morning, but I have been doing a few longer runs and I find that I need like a little bit of something besides black coffee for energy. And this is just Sun Warrior's creatine. I recently had some blood work done, which was all fantastic, by the way, but my creatine level was just 1 point low, which is normal. well, it wasn't low. It was 1 point away from being low, which is pretty normal for women my age. So it was suggested that maybe I supplement, and I found this one that's really clean and tastes really good. I've tried creatine before and creatine pills. I don't really like to swallow supplement pills, so I thought I would give this a try, and I'm really liking it. So I'm going to have this, put my hoodie and my jacket on because it's really cold outside, and go for a run. So I'm back from my run, had a good run with Rock, my running partner. That's my dog. And I decided this morning to just keep it super simple with my chia pudding. And I'm just topping it with some sliced banana and some hemp seed. I have some shredded coconuts somewhere in the freezer. I just don't know if I feel up to digging it out this morning, but it sounds good. But I don't know, we'll see. I'm pretty hungry. So I'm just going to top my bananas here. Doesn't that look so good? With about a tablespoon of hemp seeds. And hemp seeds on bananas are delicious, you guys, just delicious. And for a little bit of electrolytes, I'm gonna just top this with a pinch of salt. And that's breakfast. Not very colorful, but man, let me tell you, it is tasty. And today for lunch, I'm just having a simple kale, blueberry, and date smoothie. So satisfying and tasty. All right, for dinner tonight, I'm having some leftover roasted red pepper spaghetti and some steamed broccoli. And I will link this recipe video for the roasted red pepper spaghetti in the description box. It's really good. It's worth checking out. I have a couple other recipes that are really tasty in that video too. And I'm just going to top this with a little bit of nutritional yeast. And I'm going to go sit down and enjoy this. And I will see you in the morning. Time for a full moon 5K. The roosters are up early this morning, aren't they, Rocco? So I am not really feeling a sweet breakfast this morning. I wanted something savory, so I'll save my chia puddings for another day. This morning I'm going to just make myself a quick tofu breakfast wrap, and I just have some extra firm tofu here, and I'm just going to season it pretty simply with just some calumet, which is the black salt. Give it kind of an eggy flavor, and some pepper. If you love a tofu scramble and you're short on time, try this instead. I don't have time this morning. You know, it's a work day, so I don't have time to do a full tofu scramble, so this works. Little nutritional yeast. I'm just gonna kind of rub that in together. And this is just going to go into the air fryer for about 7 or 8 minutes, and I'll wrap it up, and it will be a good savory breakfast. You're not getting any tofu bow biscuit. So I have to be leaving for work in just a couple minutes, so I'm just going to wrap up my tofu. I did pop about a half of a bell pepper in the air fryer too. That sounded really good. So I'm just going to wrap this up and bring this with me to work. I probably could have went with half a wrap, but I'm super hungry and I think I need the extra calories after my run. So I'll see you at lunchtime. So I brought this to have over my sweet potato for lunch today, and tragically there is no can opener in this workplace kitchen. So looks like just a plain sweet potato it is. So I have my little baked sweet potato here. We do have a kitchen here, which is nice, but of course it's not fully staffed. And I'm just pouring over just a little bit of tahini, and I'll put a pinch of salt on there, and that will be lunch. And if you've never tried sweet potatoes with just a little tahini, you could put a little maple syrup too, but it's delicious just like this. And for a snack this afternoon, I'm just having a chai tea and a couple of protein bites. It's Tuesday night, and I'm going to share a really delicious, quick, and easy meal if you have prepped ahead. Tony has so nicely parboiled some potatoes for us, and I'm just going to slice them up into fries. And you can either pop them in the air fryer or pop them in the oven. I'm going to pop these in the oven tonight at, since they're pre-cooked, I'm just going to do broil. And I'm just going to season them with a little bit of salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. And we have some leftover veggie chili in the fridge. And we are just going to have some chili cheese fries for dinner. This is a quick meal, it's a cheap meal, and it is a family-friendly meal. So these parboiled potatoes, if you make a whole pot of them and have them on hand for the week, make great easy lunches and dinners, and they're great for your breakfast burritos too. And I am just simply seasoning them with a little bit of garlic powder, onion powder, and nutritional yeast and salt, and I put them under the broiler in the oven for about 10 minutes, and they're nice and crispy. And I'm just topping them with some of my hot chili and some nutritional yeast. And this was such a warm, satisfying, and comforting meal. I highly recommend. Time to make the donuts. What day of the week is it today? I think it's Tuesday morning. No, it's Wednesday morning. Y'all, I'm working so many hours. It's hard to keep track of the days sometimes. So I had a great night of sleep. Rocco and I are just getting ready to go on our morning run, and I'm just putting together my little pre-workout drink again. Little BCAA powder and some creatine, because, you know, like I said, I have some goals this year to gain a little bit of muscle and possibly go on some longer runs. And I'm just adding a couple pinches of pink sea salt this morning for the electrolytes, and I'm going to take a potassium tablet as well. I've been running a lot, and last night Mr. Tony and I had our gym session, so that means a lot of sweat. And I was just looking on Amazon at the price of like powdered electrolytes, and you know, I don't know if it's this time of year, it's just the prices of them are just kind of crazy. So I might research around and see if any of my other YouTube people have some good discounts on maybe some like Element or Liquid IV, which are really good electrolyte supplements, salt even. But you know, I've already bought this and this, and one of my goals this year is to save a little money and not buy unnecessary things also. So the electrolyte powders are good, but they're really kind of a convenience item, which is great. Don't get me wrong, it's great. But this works for now. Just a pinch of salt and a potassium tablet in my pre-workout. And you see today it's pretty concentrated because I've already woke up and drank a lot of water, and I don't want to have to stop and, you know, have to go to the bathroom after just a mile. So it's concentrated this morning. And I will see you in just a few after Rock and I go for our run, and I'm going to have some breakfast and show you what I'm packing for my 12-hour shift today at work. So this morning for breakfast, I've got coffee. And I like my coffee just black. And I'm really craving chocolate this morning. So you know what I'm going to do? I am going to have chocolate for breakfast. So I've just got some cocoa powder here. And I'm just adding it to a little bit of soy milk and a little bit of vanilla protein powder. And the protein powder is just in there really to give it, you know, a little bit of natural sweetness. I am using this protein powder, which is just, you know, basic ingredients. It's really good. It's really tasty. No extra stuff you don't need in there. And I have that, my cocoa powder, and a little bit of almond milk. And not quite enough almond milk, so you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of my coffee to that. Coffee adds to the chocolate flavor. If you're making anything chocolate, coffee is always really good in there. Now I'm going to get this mixed up. I might heat it in the microwave for a few seconds to see if it will kind of get those clumps out. No, I think we're good. I think we're good here. I think the hot coffee did the job. And this makes just an excellent, quick, and healthy chocolate sauce. And ladies, if you are craving chocolate, by all means, go ahead and have that chocolate. Chocolate is high in antioxidants, and it's also high in magnesium, which, you know, you really need that. So don't be afraid to eat some chocolate. Just, you know, be aware of the type of chocolate that you're eating, and make sure you're not eating, you know, like a sugar overload when you're craving chocolate. Have the chocolate, have a little bit of sweetness in it, but don't go overboard on the sugar, the added sugar, and the fat. Oh, this is going to be good. This makes a good dark chocolate sauce. It's quick, it's easy, it's good on just about anything. I highly recommend checking it out. So for snacks today, I am bringing along in this little jar, I have a couple of dates and a few pecans, and I have 3 of my lemon poppy seed protein balls. They're really good. I batch prepped a few different protein balls, and I'll link the video to those. They're really good, easy to take along, make a really quick and tasty snack in the afternoon, especially if you're craving something sweet like I do in the afternoon. And I'm bringing along my mushroom drink, which I just have almond milk. I have a scoop of protein powder and a scoop of mushroom powder and a tablespoon of the cocoa again, because I'm really craving chocolate, like I said. And if you haven't tried any mushroom powders, this one is my favorite. It's Rise, and I have it pretty much every day, every afternoon. This is my afternoon go-to snack that I have daily. I'm not sponsored by them or have any affiliation, but I really like it. And if you have it this way with like chocolate in it, it reminds me of Ovaltine, if you ever had that as a kid. So it doesn't taste anything like coffee, and it doesn't taste anything like mushrooms. So these are my 2 snacks today. I have a 12-hour shift today, so I'm gonna need to be snacking a little bit more often. And I'm also going to take a piece of fruit. Today I have a banana. And let me show you what I'm taking for lunch. Okay, for lunch, I'm just putting together a quick kale salad, and I just have some chopped baby kale here and some green bell peppers, and I'm just going to put together a basic tahini dressing, maple tahini, and this is my favorite, one of my favorite tahini sauces because it's so creamy. So about a tablespoon of tahini. And I usually put Dijon mustard in this too, but I'm in a hurry this morning. I have got to get out the door. So I'm just going very basic with tahini, a pinch of salt, and about a tablespoon of maple syrup. And this is just a basic sauce, but let me tell you, it's tasty. So I'm just going to give that a quick stir, and when it's time to pour over my salad at lunchtime, I will add just a little bit of warm water to it to loosen it up. Oh, that's so good, I could drink it. Oh my God. And the sweetness of the tahini and the maple cut down the bitterness on the kale, and it makes the salad super delicious. It's one of my favorite ways to eat kale. And I'm just topping my salad with about a tablespoon of some sunflower seeds and about the same amount of some hemp seeds, which are another staple. I try to get in a little bit of those every day. They're also in the lemon protein balls too. Hemp seeds, really good source of vegan protein. Okay, so that will be lunch, and I am all set. All I need to do is put everything together in my lunch bag and get out the door. Oh, I'm also cooking up some tofu in the air fryer to top my salad with today. Tonight for dinner, I'm going to show you a super delicious cilantro lime wrap. I love cilantro lime rice. If cilantro is not your thing, I don't know what to say. Just use parsley. It will still be delicious. So I have the juice and zest of 1 lime, and I have 3 cups of cooked white rice. You could use brown rice, but I had to cook a whole bunch of white rice for another recipe, and I had some left over, so that's what I'm using. And I have about a cup of chopped cilantro. Now, I may have said before that I absolutely love cilantro. Feel free to adjust the amount, and I have roughly chopped mine. It's not finely chopped because that's how much I love it. Sometimes I feel like I could just go out in the garden and eat it like a rabbit. It's so delicious. So I'm just going to mix that together, and the rice has just been simply seasoned with salt, and I'm just going to mix that up and set that aside. And in the other bowl here, I just have some pea protein crumbles, which, let me show you the brand. I like this one. There are a few different ones on Amazon and in the grocery stores now, but I really like the texture of it. Kind of like TVP, but it has a slightly different texture, and to me it's super easy to digest and super delicious. I just like the texture and everything about it. I have really fallen in love with it. You could say I might be a little bit obsessed with this as a protein source right now. I really love it. So I'm just going to pile on my lavash here. Just a good amount of rice and textured protein. And the protein, the pea crumbles, I have seasoned with garlic salt, not garlic salt, garlic powder, onion powder, a little salt and pepper, and some cumin and ground coriander, which is really delicious with the cilantro. Ground coriander is just the cilantro plant seed. So it has a milder cilantro flavor, but it's a little bit more on the floral side, if that makes sense. I'm just going to roll this up. I'm gonna do my best here. These lavash are a little bit soft, but they are great when you toast them up, which is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pop this in the air fryer for about 5 minutes and dinner will be ready. Okay, my burrito is out of the air fryer and I'm just going to chop it in half. Oh, and how good does that look? That looks so good. And I am just going to serve this alongside a little bit of salsa to dip that in, and that will be dinner. Good Thursday morning. The week is moving right along. I am just mixing up my usual pre-run drink, a little bit of creatine, and a little bit of BCAAs, which basically is just pure, unflavored protein source. And I decided it would be a good idea to start adding beetroot powder. I usually save this for smoothies if I'm having a smoothie, but you know, beetroot powder is really good for helping with circulation and getting oxygen to those muscles. So if you're working out, I highly recommend adding it to your smoothie or whatever your pre-workout routine is. Or, you know, you can always just get a pre-workout that has that in there. But I find that it really does help. And, you know, do the research on it yourself. Does some pretty amazing things for the body. So all right, cheers. I'll see you after I run. Oh, doesn't that look so beautiful? Back from my run, and I'm just having a quick snack on this banana. He's kind of small, so perfect snack size before I hop in the shower and get ready for work. So this morning I could not decide whether I wanted sweet or savory for breakfast. So I thought a bagel was the perfect opportunity to do both. So on one side of the bagel, I'm going to put some protein butter, which I'm mixing up in here. It's just a little almond butter, about a tablespoon of almond butter, and the same amount of protein powder. And depending on how dry your almond butter is, you may need to use a little bit of water, or you could use a little maple syrup to sweeten it up and loosen it up. This one's kind of dry because it's the bottom of the barrel. And on my savory side, I'm going to do some Vegemite because I love it. And bagels are just the perfect thing if you can't decide really what you want for breakfast. They're like the perfect thing. And they are easy to take on the go. So this one, I'm going to go ahead and eat while I pack the rest of my stuff up for lunch and my snacks, because I have got to get out of here for a little crunch. That almost looks like a fancy vegan donut. And I will see you at lunchtime. And here we are again. And I have basically the same lunch I had yesterday, except today we have yellow bell peppers and pomegranate. It's Friday, y'all. We made it. And I apologize, I did not share my dinner last night. It happened to be a really super long day, and kind of got some bad news yesterday that I'm Still working through, and I just ended up having one of my chia puddings that was already meal prepped and calling it a night. It was very late when I got home. I worked my 12-hour shift and I stopped by the gym for a few minutes to go for a run, and my few minutes turned into several miles on the treadmill. So this morning I'm a little bit tired. My body's a little bit tired. My mind's a little bit tired from the bad news. And this morning Rock and I just kind of took it easy. So we've already been out for a walk. I did a little bit of yoga and we went out for our walk. And I'm just having a little bit of my creatine and a little bit of protein, and a little bit of protein before I go into work this morning. And also yesterday my lunch ended up getting interrupted, so today for lunch I'm just going to bring my salad because I didn't get a chance to eat it. Like I said, yesterday was just kind of a rough day. So we're going to try to make today a better day. And I'm going to start with this. And this creatine, if I didn't mention before, the Sun Warrior one, it's really good. It's raspberry flavored. So what I put in there was just a little bit of my BCAA powder and a little bit of the vanilla protein powder, and it makes a really sweet, yummy raspberry drink. Really good. So this morning for breakfast I'm just going to have a quick smoothie, and in here I just have about 2 cups of kale. I have some dark tart cherries, which are really good for muscle soreness and muscle recovery. I have about 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and I just put 2 scoops of the vanilla protein powder to kind of sweeten this up for me. And I'm just going to blend this up and take this along with me. Oh, this makes just such a yummy chocolate shake. So good. And of course I have my usual afternoon snack. I put a little cocoa powder in with my mushroom drink today, and I'm bringing a banana and the salad that I did not get to eat yesterday. And I will see you at dinner time. Happy Friday. All right, I have made it to Friday. Still gotta work tomorrow, but that's another work week down. It's been very busy, but I did get off work a little bit earlier today. So I wanted to share with you a super delicious weeknight meal you can whip up very easily in your rice cooker. And this is just a quick cooking curry. So I just have my little rice cooker here, and I'm just going to turn it on to, I think there's a setting on this one for brown. It's steam, actually. I have a couple of rice cookers. This one's a little bit different, but I'm gonna set it on the steam setting, which I think is its highest setting on this one. And I just have put in about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And I'm just going to let this, that camera stand is leaning against the counter. I'm sorry if it's shaky. I'm just going to put the tomato paste and my spices in. And this is a 1-pot meal. If you don't have a rice cooker, you could certainly just do this in your iron skillet on the stove or in a sauce pot on the stove. So I've just got my spices in here going with the tomato sauce. And my spices that I used, I have this garam masala. I also have turmeric, garlic powder, onion powder, curry seasoning, cumin, and paprika. And I'm going to hit this with a little bit of salt. Quite a bit of salt, actually. This is the only salt going in. And I have low sodium butter beans. Chickpeas are also delicious in here, but I don't know, I had this can of butter beans and it just sounded really good in the curry. Nice, and it'll come out nice and creamy. And this is already starting to sizzle in there. And I'm just going to put the lid down and let it do its thing for a few minutes, about 5 minutes or so, for that tomato paste to cook down with the spices. In the meantime, I will show you my other ingredients, which are just a little bit of canned full-fat coconut milk. That's the kind that I have there. I have about half a cup of that, and it was cold and in the pantry, so it's separated, but if yours does that, don't worry about it. It's perfectly fine. If you heat it up, it becomes all liquid again. But I didn't want to use the whole can. I wanted to add a little bit of protein to this meal and still keep it super creamy and delicious. So in here I have some silken tofu that I just blended up to get it, you know, to a nice consistency that it can go into the curry after we cook the tomato paste down. And I have a little bit of tomato sauce. And after my tomato paste and spices have cooked down to a nice deep rich red color, I'm just going to add the rest of my ingredients, my tomato sauce. And it already smells absolutely amazing in here. My coconut milk. I'm just going to give that a little bit of a stir to get that going together with the tomato paste and the coconut milk. Let that coconut milk cook down just a little bit. Okay, look how silky and rich that looks. It's going to be tasty. And I'm going to go in with about a half a cup of the silken tofu. Just give that a little stir. And I'm just looking to see what color it is here, basically. I want it, you know, I want it to look like that specific red curry color, and this looks pretty good. I think I have still a clump of tomato paste and spices. That'll break up as this gets hotter. My coconut milk was really cold from being out in the pantry, which isn't heated out there, so I'll get that broken up. And I'm just going to go ahead and add my beans in. You could use any kind of beans, chickpeas. Chickpeas and sweet potatoes make an absolutely delicious, quick curry also. While this is all going, I'm going to air fry some tofu for about 10 minutes. And I'm going to get it nice and pretty crispy. And I'll add it in so it can continue cooking in the sauce. But in the meantime, I'm just going to turn my pot down to keep warm, which will bring it basically to a low simmer. And I'll let it cook for about 20-25 minutes. Okay, this has been cooking down for about 20 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and add my crispy tofu now, and I just seasoned it with a little salt, pepper, and smoked paprika. It's nice and crispy. And I'm just going to add that right in without making a mess. I'm just going to stir in my tofu and let it cook in the sauce for about 5 minutes or so. While that's cooking away, I'm going to heat up some of my leftover cilantro lime rice. You could eat it just like this. You could eat it over a sweet potato, white rice, brown rice, quinoa, everything. It's delicious. Okay, I cannot wait to have a bowl of this. I just have my heated up rice, nice and hot. And I'm just going to, and I tasted this just to make sure it had enough spice and salt in it. And it is so good, y'all, so good. And I'm just going to top it with a little bit of fresh chopped green onion. This is just a little bit of green onion. I have recycled from an onion top, and I have several growing on the windowsill this time of year, along with some avocado starter plants and other little things that I'm growing on the windowsill for herbs. You can use those onion tops like a few times to regrow green onions if you didn't know. Save yourself a couple bucks. I'm going to go sit down and enjoy this, and I will see you in the next video. And as always, I truly appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you got any meal ideas this week, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. I'll see you next time. Bye.